Hey guys, what's up? It's the Merc here from Poolshed Games, and it is time for another episode of The Quest for Gaming at College. This time around, we're going to talk about our Mutant Epoch game, which we did start last Tuesday. We had one more player join us, so now we have a cyborg in the party, and funnily enough, he is a complete melee character. I didn't really expect that to happen, but it did. He's kind of the epitome of a glass cannon as well. He has a super high defense value, which makes him incredibly hard to hit. He has a smokescreen generator, which makes him, again, even more hard to hit when shooting at him. But he has like 20 hit points, which in this game, when weapons can do up to a d20 plus 10 points of damage or more, isn't exactly huge. There's little things each game that I find out that I'm going to have to read more about to see how they work. Like he has a weapon which is a spring spike, and I have to read just how exactly that's supposed to work. Because there's a couple of different values for it. One I assume is on the turn that it's like shot out via the spring, and then afterwards I assume you fight with it with the other values until you can reset it. So that rounds out the party. We have two mutants, we have a bestial horseman, and we have a cyborg. Unless anybody else comes and joins us, which probably wouldn't be a bad thing. The adventure that I'm running is for 6 to 8 players, and currently I have 4, so we'll see if maybe any more people kind of filter in as we go. One thing I've noticed, you can always kind of tell your parties, the people that you're playing with. And I was spoiled for a very long time. I had a group of players that were very much into the story side of the RPG. Role-playing, talking amongst themselves in character, talking to NPCs in character. And the group that I currently have, they really enjoy playing, but they don't really do the in-character role-playing. It's almost like the story is a light aspect for them compared to a driving aspect. And I noticed running the module, it's my first time running the module, so I don't know it the back of my hand, so I can't paraphrase things and skip things that might or might not be important. But also, as I was going through the module and reading the story parts to give them kind of an idea of what was going on, where they were, how the town they were in looked like, it was like I lost their interest a little bit. And that all changed, of course, when the concept of possible combat came up. So I think I'm going to talk to them next Tuesday when we play and simply ask them if they would prefer a story-light, combat-heavy game, which I can tweak the module to do that, or I can just throw a different thing together where it'll just be kind of dungeon crawling, go in, kill the bad guys, get the loot, come out. No overarching storylines, no, deep interesting story, just, go here, do this, you'll get a reward, and you'll get loot, and then, you're done. And that might be more of what they're looking for in their game. There's nothing wrong with that. I can run a game like that, certainly. It's just different than what I'm used to running for people. The other thing I found that I did, I'm changing the setting just a little bit in the game, because the Mutant Epoch itself, all the source material that William McAusland and the people at Outland Games have made so far, is set in California. There's there's a guide to the area. There's a guide to a big town in the area. It's all set out in California, and I'm not sure. I mean, with my current group here at school, it might not be such a big deal because I don't know how deep into the surrounding area they're going to get. But I'm also probably going to run this again over the summer for some friends down home, since we found out that one of the guys who was in my D&D Elite group last summer will be back to play this summer. I'm probably going to set it in my location, where we live currently. That way there can be cool things. I can post-apocalypticize the local area and give the group little things to find here and there that are kind of be like Easter eggs. And I think that'll make it more immersive for the group as a whole. So, to the adventure itself, they got to where they needed to be. And, sometimes your players just blindly stumble upon the right path right away. This happened before when we were playing Dark Heresy. There were a lot of options for side quests and things in the Dark Heresy module that I ran. And the entire group was like, nope, we're just going right to where we need to go. Not talking to anybody, just boom, going. And I mean, it was kind of detrimental to them in the long run because they didn't find out certain things that they could have found out that would have helped them in the adventure. Well, this time around, they found the entrance to the underground area they needed to go to. They got to the junction room where there was four different options. 4 different options of tunnels they could have gone down. One of which was the right one. The other 3 were like side little things, little side excursions that would have taken them to interesting places, shown them interesting things. And they went down the right one. That's not to say that they won't be able to explore the other 3, because this module isn't designed to be ran all at once, one shot, like a speed run. They have to go back to the surface. They have to rest, re-equip, rearm. But it blows my mind that they have this almost innate sense of going the right way and just completely bypassing all the side chaff that's out there. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, it might be, because the side things are there to help you level up and get a little bit more experience before you find the main part of the adventure. But that possibility is there. Though I will say this module does warn that players might die when playing through it. So that's a thing. I very rarely have player death in my games. I'm usually pretty lenient on my players unless they have done something completely stupid to get themselves in the position where their character's going to die. I don't set out to kill my characters because I'm trying to tell a story with them, and I just don't think character death is that good for storytelling unless it serves a purpose. Either as a thematic agent or as a punishment to be like, to let the player know, stop being dumb. You did something that you weren't supposed to. Make a new character. And I know there's people that run games have different ideas on that. Some people set out with the sole goal of killing their characters. I'm not one of those people. It's just not fun for me. The only time I enjoy player death or serious player injury is, like I said, if it's thematic. If something really cool happens or comes out of it. Like, to just give an example, one game I ran was a Starship Troopers hybrid game. It was a military sci-fi game, and it was D20 modern, so it had the clunky action point system that none of us had really done anything with the entire game. And the Lich Lord was playing a real heavy bruiser type character, and they were trying to hold off this just swarm of the arachnids coming out of this cave towards a colony. And he kind of got cornered by a tanker bug, and he had a pool of like 40 action points, which I don't know if we were doing it right or not, but it didn't really matter. And he had a grenade, so he asked me, he's like, can my character pull the pin on the grenade, spend all of his action points, and like jam it in the tanker bug's mouth? I'm like, well, your character is probably going to die. He's like, yeah, no, that's fine. But it was really cool, and the resulting explosion helped to buy them a couple of turns. So that's the kind of character death that I always think is a good character death. But that's kind of where we're at right now. Didn't do any combat yet. Did a couple of hazard check rolls. So I really like this system. I am going to do a video at a later point to just talk about the mechanics in the game itself. But next week, we get into combat. And we will see just how brutal combat in this game can be, and if any of the characters are overpowered. Because I know my roommate's character has like 110 or 120 hit points, and like I said, our cyborg character is ridiculously hard to hit. But aside from that, that has been the quest this week. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up, share us with your friends. If you haven't yet subscribed, it helps us out a lot here. And we'll see you next time here at Bullshit Games.